Welcome back, my Jedi friends. And today I'm going to help you to discover your purpose if you don't already know it. Or maybe you know it, maybe you want a reminder, maybe you think you want a reminder, maybe you don't know, maybe you do know. Who knows? Whatever made you click on here, you're here for a reason, and there will be practical things on here which will help you either confirm that you're on the right path or to get you on the right path or to jolt you off the wrong path. However way you want to look at it, folks, however way you want to look at it. I'm going to give you some practical things that are going to help you to work out what it is that you're here to do. And how do you know that you're here to do anything? Well, you don't really, unless you have a divine calling, unless you've seen the light, unless you have passed to the other side, unless you remember your pre-birth, your contracts that you came here with. There's a lot of what ifs here, folks. But a lot of people talk about purpose. A lot of people talk about discover your purpose. A lot of people talk about live your purpose. Well, how the fuck do you know what your purpose is? There's the first question, folks. And what is it about? If you were to have a purpose, how would you discover that? Well, let's look into that. That's what this video is going to be all about. So, forget whether you believe in your purpose or not, whether you believe you're here for some greater good or some bigger picture. Let's park that initially. Let's just park that. And let's ask a different question. What do you love to do? Let's look at that. Let's reframe the video. Let's start there. What do you love to do? And I'm going to give you some exercises today that you may or may not want to do. I can tell you for certain it's going to be better if you do them. And I can tell you it's probably going to help you if you have a pen and paper or some sort of way to take notes while you do this. So if you really want to get the most out of this video, you'll pause it here and you'll go and get a pen and paper. And you will take this exercise very seriously. Because the more seriously you take it, the more you get into it, the more you actually do it, the more likely you are to finish this video having some sense that you're heading in a better direction. That's a promise. That, my Jedi friends, is a promise. You will feel more aligned. You will feel better. You will have a better idea of what it is that makes you tick and how to enjoy your life more if you do it. If you do it, my Jedi friends. So the first thing is, we all know the drill here, folks. If you're a regular to the channel, we're going to get you into a relaxed state. Now, you get comfortable. Get comfortable. Now, it helps. If you want to amplify the effects of this exercise, you'll sit with your spine straight and your feet flat on the floor. Or you might get in the meditation position. That would be just as good if you're into that. But the point being, your spine straight. What you're going to do to start things off is to deepen your breathing. Deepen your breathing, my Jedi friends. And as you concentrate on deepening your breathing, you're going to ground yourself. If you've got your own method, do it. If not, just imagine a ball of light at the center of the earth and a light cord connecting to the base of your spine. By thinking it, you're grounded because energy follows thought. Always going back, focusing on your breathing. Now, we have two minds. Caught in two minds, there's a reason for that, folks. It's your unconscious mind that works like lightning, like lightning. That's the first answer that pops into your head. Then there's the conscious mind. And that is the doubt and the programming, and that's not always helpful. And that's the thing that cuts in afterwards and talks you out of what you just got. That's loud and rumbly, and it's slower. So the first thing you get is unconscious, and that's usually the answer to go with. Go with the first answer that pops into your head, and you'll have a much more productive time with this exercise, folks. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and your ability to trust the first thing that pops into your head will directly influence how much you take out of this exercise. There you go. As you go back to your breathing, you're going to go with the first thing that pops into your head when I ask you. Now, you may want to close your eyes for this. That's entirely up to you. As you're focusing on your breathing, I'm going to ask you a question. To think of a time in your life where you felt the happiest. Now, whatever came first is what you go with. And you may be saying already, your conscious mind may have kicked in and goes, but was I happier at a different time? Was that really the time I was happiest? I'm sure I was that. Forget that. The first thing that popped into your head is the first thing, it's the most significant. Go with that answer and write it down. Pause the video, write it down. It's significant. Now I'm going to ask you the next question. Think of another time when you were really happy with your life. I want you to think about what you were doing, where you were, who you were with, and what it was about that moment that made you happy. Write it down. Pause the video if you need to. Always going back to your breathing. And I'll ask you again. Think of a time you were happy. Notice what popped into your head. First thing is always significant. Even if it might not seem that happy, it's popped into your reason. Popped into your head for a reason, not popped into your reason for head. Or maybe it has. Maybe it's done that. Everything that you get now is relevant. Write it down. Pause the video if you need to. Back to your breathing. Think of a time in your life where you felt inspired. Inspired. First thing, go with the first thing that pops into your head. Write it down if you need to. What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you thinking? What were you doing differently to what you're doing now? Pause the video. Now relax back to your breathing. Think of a time when you were in flow, when time seemed to evaporate. You were so into what you were doing that you forgot about time. You've got to eat, you've got to drink. You were in flow. Go with the first answer, folks. The first answer. What were you doing? What were you thinking? How were you different? Write it down if you need to. Go back to the exercise, back to your breathing. Now think of a time in your life when you were absolutely unstoppable. Nothing was going to stop you from doing what you were doing in that moment. Where did you go to? What were you thinking? What were you doing? Write it down if you need, folks. And maybe you're thinking, I don't ever remember being unstoppable, but something's popped into your head now. Ever popped into your head. Write it down. It has significance. Now back to your breathing. The next question. Think of a time in your life where you absolutely loved being alive. You loved what you were doing. You loved living in that moment. What were you doing? What were you thinking? How were you different? Write it down, folks. Pause this video if you want to. And I want you to just bring your awareness back. This video, this exercise here is powerful. Not only that, you can do this exercise numerous times Go back, do it again, see what comes up. Your ability to trust the first thing that comes into your mind is the first thing. And I want you to look through the list of the stuff that's just happened and what did they have in common? What were you thinking differently? What were you doing differently? This is the best aspect of you, and this is what's possible when you're in the zone and your voices are aligned to tell you the right things. When you're in your flow, when you're in your passion, times of your life. Do it as often as you need to, folks. Focus on times of your life where you were in flow, where you were passionate, where you were aligned, where you were inspired. There's patterns there that will guide you towards certain things that tell you what you're meant to be doing. Tell you that where your purpose may lie. And if you're not feeling good, it's because you've been focusing on things outside of these areas, folks. Been listening to the wrong people, been allowing the wrong voices in your head. You've been focusing on the wrong things. And this exercise can turn things around and get you focused on the right things. Because life gives you hints when you're in flow, when you feel good, when synchronicities start to occur, when you feel more energized, when you look forward to getting up in the morning. And it may be ages since you felt that way, folks, and that's okay. Sometimes, especially people with high empathy, have to go through a lot of pain to get to this point, taking this exercise seriously. If you take this exercise seriously and do it, keep doing it and do it until you absolutely know now what your purpose is, you'll find it. But you have to be committed to doing it. You have to do the exercise. And you have to trust the first things that pop into your head. Now, you may not find what your big purpose is because sometimes the universe only shows you your next step. But by doing this set of exercises, you'll get right down on the ground. You'll get grounded right in the grass, folks. You'll be right down on the ground looking at your life, getting grounded, getting focused on stuff that is important to you. Remembering the times of your life where you were connected, where you were in flow, where you did love what you're doing. And you may have been traumatized so much that it's difficult to think of these things, to remember these things. You may even be telling yourself, I never felt that way. If that's the case, you ask yourself the question, what could have made me feel that way? What could have made me feel flow? What could have made me feel love? And here's the secret, folks. Whatever it is you're thinking of, it has to be all down to you. Making your sense of flow dependent on other people's reactions or activities is counterproductive here. It all has to come from inside you. You cannot be dependent on anyone else doing anything other than what they're doing to get to this point. And if you do it, my Jedi friends, you will be untouchable. You'll be untouchable. And you will have some sort of indication of what it is that you're here to do. You'll rise to your purpose. Play this exercise again, folks. Bookmark this video if you need to. I suggest that you do, because it's always good to go back to this, to remind yourself. And not only that, but the first thing that pops up, there's different layers of it. You might think of other things that keep coming up. Oh, yes, there was another time I was inspired. There was another time I felt real love. There was another time I was in flow. I was in the timeless zone. It's in the timeless zone, in the zone, folks, in the zone. And the more time you focus on this, the easier it will get. And it doesn't matter how bad things seem at the moment. They'll get better if you do this. You focus on this. We get what we focus on. We get what we focus on. You focus on what you love. You focus on what makes you in flow. You focus on your passion. You focus on your purpose. You'll get more of it. You're like a magnet. Your thoughts are like a magnet, folks. Trouble is, there's so much negativity in the world, and there's so many assholes out there that we're being hammered, 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 all this lunacy and madness and other people's agenda, pain, with trauma, news headlines, bad news, wars, rape, pedophiles, invasions, foreigners, people that want to sexually abuse your kids. That's what sells, unfortunately, folks. So we have to create our own narrative if you want something better. And you get that by doing this exercise on repeat. So, my Jedi friends, I suggest that you do that and you do it again and again and again until you feel better and you know what you need to be focusing on and you know what your purpose might be. You might not know what your purpose is, but you know what makes you feel better. And you know that by focusing on things that make you feel better, that you will more likely find something meaningful and purposeful within your life. And there you go, my Jedi friends. You will find your purpose. You will find it. You will find it, my Jedi friends, if you search. Search and you shall find. Ask yourself the right questions and you shall find. Ask yourself the wrong questions and you shall get more pain and arseholes in your life until you wake up to this. Till you wake up to this, folks. So there you go. It's a little bit deep. It's a little bit heavy. It's a little bit counter-traumatic, but it is a path. It is a tool, my friends. And if you use it wisely, it can change your life. So go ahead, find your purpose, find your flow, ask yourself the right questions, find the patterns in your life of the things that you've already done that will guide you in the right direction and things will improve. And that's a promise, my Jedi friends. That is a promise. So go out, use the force, the power of your mind to transform your life. And that is not dependent on anyone else doing anything else. Because when you change your mind, you change your focus, and you start focusing on things that work for you, then the people that get that will stay on board and anyone else will drop off your radar. They will drop off. Drop off your radar, folks. They will be deleted from your reality. The matrix will realign. You will re-glitch it. You will take the red pill, folks. Take the red pill. The red pill lies within asking yourselves all the right questions to feel better. Feel better, my friends. Feel better. Do this exercise and feel better. Think better, feel better, and get more purpose from your life. And you may not have, oh, this is exactly why I'm here, but you will feel better by asking these questions. And by asking these questions more often, you will far more likely find something meaningful and a happier space to be. So there you go. There you go, my Jedi friends. Take this exercise and run with it. And let me know how you get on. I'll be very interested to find out. And if for any reason you found this video and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, there's a ton more resources that can give you other pieces to the jigsaw. So like and subscribe, folks. Like and subscribe. And if you want another piece of the jigsaw, it's just there. Go forth, have fun, focus on what you love, and enjoy your life, my Jedi friends.